What is the return on investment for a public skate park? Usually the first thing people think of when they think about a public skate park is the question of liability and lawsuits from injuries, etc., etc., etc. That was a concern in the late 1970s, and a lot of skate parks had to close because of it. Since then, the legal systems have changed in most states where if you are doing what is considered legally a hazardous activity, which skateboarding usually qualifies, then you waive your legal rights. More importantly, a study published in 2002 in the Journal of Trauma, Injury, and Infectious Care found that injuries due to skateboarding are about the same as they are for basketball or football, so that for insurance purposes, it's not really much more dangerous than anything else, or really about the same. So what this means is most cities around our state and around the country are able to put in public skate parks that do not require anyone to supervise. They can be free and open like a playground or a basketball court, and you don't have to worry about serious costs due to liability issues. The second question people usually think is, well, why in the world should we be spending our tax dollars on recreation? The reason we need to be spending tax dollars on recreation is that recreation has serious benefits for the community. First of all, it actually reduces crime, and it's been proven in study after study, situation after situation. Juvenile criminal activity dropped 24% in Cincinnati, Ohio during the first 13 weeks of their late night basketball program. Summer late night weekend recreation activities costing only 74 cents per person reduced juvenile crime by 52% in Phoenix, Arizona, where it cost almost $40,000 to jail one teen for 1 year. The bottom line was that it cost 100 times as much to incarcerate than it does to recreate. In Philadelphia, Pop Skate Park was built in the Kensington area. The local police loved the park because they said crime was down in the immediate area by 80%. In 1994, crime in Fort Worth, Texas dropped 28% in a 1-mile radius of community centers that offered recreational basketball programs. At 5 community centers where the basketball programs did not exist, crime increased an average of 39%. In addition to crime rates, there's health benefits that are associated with skate parks. In general, sports participants have significantly lower body mass index values, lower blood pressures, lower resting pulse rates. The physically fit person is less prone to injury and less likely to experience depression. Childhood participation in organized fitness and sports programs helps attain higher bone density, establishing a strong health base to combat osteoporosis in later life. An estimated 66,000 U.S. deaths from coronary heart disease, colon cancer, and diabetes could be prevented annually if one half of the sedentary people became active on a regular basis. So this is why putting our money in recreation is a great idea. What you get when you spend money on a public skate park is a facility that stands out and shines out above other facilities you could build. Because you're getting a facility with the amount of attraction that you would normally get from something you would have to spend a lot more money on to get and put a lot more effort into to bring that many people together to use it. But at the same time, the expense is more similar to something that is very low budget. And that's really why skate parks are such a great idea and why they should be at the top of the priority list for any government list of, desires and needs for their recreational facilities. What you're doing is you're creating a facility that's going to be popular and well used as if you were spending a lot of money on it. So you take a basketball court, that's fairly cheap to construct, but to see a lot of use, you're going to need to set up leagues, tournaments, and games and that kind of thing. The skate park doesn't need this organizational effort. It simply exists on its own, and people can show up on their own time, enjoy time with other people there, skate, do their thing, but there's no need for you to have a team, to have an organization, practice times, tournaments, etc., etc., etc. So the need for organization is not there, so that doesn't affect usage. It's difficult to show up at a basketball court and really get a good game unless someone's organized teams and that kind of thing. But you don't have to do that at the skate park. You can show up, skate with whoever's there. You can skate by yourself. If there's two other people there, that's a pretty good day. You know, you can enjoy their company and do things together, or just find whoever's there. You try a team sport with, you know, only three people and you're going to be struggling. So that's why the skate park is able to, at for a low cost, see high use. In 2010, 4.6% of the U.S. population said they skateboarded once a year. Weekly skateboarders were about half of that. So that gives you an idea of how many people are already doing it in your area if you just look at the population for whatever your area is. The other benefit for the skate park is that it's essentially a slab of concrete on compacted soil. You shape the soil to what you want to do. You pour a 6-inch thick slab with 3/8 rebar on a 1-foot grid at about 3 inches deep, and you've got a very low maintenance facility. You compare this to something like, say, a public pool, which is very popular and very well used as long as it's well maintained, but you've got to hire lifeguards, you've got to hire, you know, people to clean it, take care of it, you've got to put chemicals in it, put water in it. It can get expensive. Whereas the skate park is a slab of concrete, it's just there. It's virtually maintenance free. And they have skate parks that have been in use for 30 years now. And the general rule of thumb is you're looking at virtually no maintenance. The one thing you have to watch out for in terms of use is a poor design. So a lot of areas put in skate parks with really uninspired designs that really see very little use. So you always want to make sure that your designer has a good reputation in the industry and with the skateboarders, or the people who actually use skate parks on a regular basis. Not just someone who's perhaps put in a lot of parks or has some sort of resume, but someone who has a good reputation. In addition to these benefits, you're looking at something that's not going to take up much space. This design you're looking at here will use about 35 feet by 150 feet of space and serve about 25 to 30 users at a time. One benefit that many people don't understand about a skate park is that it's a community gathering place. A study was done where the researchers asked respondents to indicate the place, this is teenagers, the place in which most leisure time was spent. Skate parks ranked 5th of 25 possible leisure contexts. They were behind home, the beach, friend's house, and shopping center, but in front of sporting fields, cinema, pool, gym, library, and others. So this is important to keep in mind. And the reason this works this way is because when you're playing basketball, playing baseball, etc., you have to stay focused on the game. You can't really stop for a second to socialize with anyone who may be there that's not participating. In fact, you can't really participate with your teammates necessarily as much as you would like to. But when you're skateboarding, if you stop for a second to talk to someone who came by to say hello, it in no way impedes anyone else from doing what they want to do if they want to continue performing the activity. So what this means is you've got a very social environment where people are able to perform an interesting activity and sort of do something that's cool and interesting and fun that doesn't impede them from spending time with other people and socializing. So in summary, what you have with a public skate park is a facility that has a very low cost. This facility you're looking at here is $150,000, and the amount of use you're going to see is phenomenal. When you think of how few skate parks exist in surrounding areas, it's not abnormal for people to have to drive over an hour to find a facility like this, and then many of the ones that they'll find will be substandard quality because, sad to say, a lot of local governments put in poorly designed, underfunded, just poorly planned skate parks that are not a big attraction. If you put in a well-designed skate park, you become an attraction for surrounding communities. This means that money will flow into your area because these people will come to wherever your area is to enjoy this facility that is unique, well-designed, and special. This is something that makes good sense for a local community, and if you are a college town, then young people are going to be much more likely to be interested in a facility like this, and it's going to draw many more of them than a community will that does not have such a facility. So in summary, the reason a skate park should come before other great ideas, great facilities that we could put in, the reason the skate park is a better idea and should be a top priority is simply because the cost is so low and the benefits are so high. That's really what it boils down to. Where can you spend $150,000 on a facility like this and see something that will be as used and as well used and draw dollars to our town in the way that this facility can? In terms of tourism to our area, you've got to ask yourself, how many people are going to make the commute to our town, our city, to use a basketball court or even a golf course, a tennis court? These things are great, but they're not special. And that's what's unique about a skate park. You have the opportunity to stand out, to be unique, to be better than surrounding communities. With all this in mind, we just implore you and we beg of you to consider a skate park a top priority for your area. Thanks for your time and have a great day.